we've been friends since we were 8, and now we're 33.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And we just spent 13 years, 16 years in the military, and now we're reconnecting.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this question. I don't know if I have an answer, so you can answer first, but why did we join the Army?
I just remember them opening the door and the jump master was like, shit just got real.
It's not right. Like, it's not right being in a plane and the door's open.
I hated it.
It's fucking scary. How did you feel getting orders to Afghanistan the first time?
Oh, I was happy.
Happy?
Oh, yeah.
Not nervous? Was there any moments or times that you can recall in Afghanistan that were kind of pivotal moments in your life?
I learned a lot that life is very short. I feel like there's parts of me that are still in Afghanistan. There's parts of me that are still at certain trainings that I went to that for brag. I'm still on Ardennes running. Every morning you'll catch my ghost just like sprinting down Ardennes, just hating my life.
So big takeaways from the military. How are we implementing things that we learned from the military into real life now? What did we learn?
That's a great question.
Yeah, I haven't thought about it. So here's the ultimate question. 16 years in the military, 13 years in the military. Would we do it again? Welcome to the Vantage Point. I'm your host, Taylor Chapman. All right, what are we going to talk about?
What are we going to talk about?
We can grab this and move it all around.
Spaghetti.
Can you turn channel 2 up on the audio?
Is it rolling?
Yeah.
Oh, really? We're live.
Yeah. Yep. All right. 20 years in the making.
20 years. Remember I wanted to talk about this. Our little business that we did where we shoveled people's driveways.
Oh, in the winter.
And that lady let you drive her Mercedes.
Oh, yeah. Back to the driveway. Jeez.
That lady didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Just random lady, we knocked on her door to shovel her driveway, and she handed you the keys to her car. We could have just bounced.
Yeah, we used to just walk around when it would snow with snow shovels and these
that neighborhood you were talking about last night.
Yeah, rich people neighborhoods.
Rich people neighborhoods.
We'd be like, can we shovel your driveway? How much? We look at each other. 300. They'd be like, okay. And other houses, they'd be like, you're crazy, and slam the door. Man,
I missed that car that you had.
Yeah, but she had me pull her. It was like a AMG something. I'm not good with Mercedes numbers, but
it was nice.
I don't even think I had my license.
What?
I don't even think I had it.
You were driving around all the time.
16. Oh yeah, I was probably 17. But
we were in the Durango.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to that thing?
Sold it, crashed it, and then sold it.
That was a nice car.
So some backstory. Dylan Averack. We've been friends since we were 8, and now we're 33.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And we just spent 13 years, 16 years in the military, and now we're reconnecting.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about what happened in that time.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our childhood, our parents.
All right. Starting therapy.
But how do you want to start this puppy?
What do you remember from childhood? What were the highlights? Because we're talking early 2000s, 2001, 2, 3. We were pretty big into skateboarding.
I liked our little adventures in the woods.
Yeah.
Going crazy, not lighting things on fire. Actually get to be kids.
Yeah.
I think it's different now with the phones. They don't have the same experiences. Like our experiences were very physical. Like I feel like nowadays kids don't have that. Like, yeah, maybe lighting things on fire as a kid wasn't the most politically right thing to do, but it was still an experience that I wouldn't forget. I remember.
What's the backstory here? We weren't even doing fireworks. We just enjoyed lighting things on fire. So we would go to the woods, make big piles of leaves and just light them on fire. And occasionally they would spread out of control and the fire department would have to come and our parents would be trying to figure out who did it. And we're like, well, I don't know.
My dad was on the board of the neighborhood. So I'm right under his nose and he's trying to figure out who the arson is going through the cameras of the clubhouse.
Right.
And it's our punk asses.
Yeah. And you see Dylan and Taylor running around.
Just going crazy.
Yeah. But you're right. I think we kind of grew up at the last era of true exploration-based childhood because now it's all screen-based childhood.
Yep.
Because, born in 92, 93, 92.
Yeah, 92.
Yeah, both 92. And grew up in the early 2000s. I wasn't until I was 17 until I got a phone. So I grew up and matured and didn't have a phone. You can grab that.
I kind of regret getting a phone sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like I've lost it's nice watching my kids live vicariously through the environment versus having a phone. It sucks sometimes because as a parent, you'll look at your phone and you get enveloped into the, as you said before, the dopamine hits that you get just by watching these things. And I remember as a kid, like that was doing dumb shit.
Missing a kickflip.
Yeah. Like doing, like going out with the friends and doing
I'm not saying kids
stuff.
should be lighting stuff on fire. I'd rather be on their phone, but.
No, but that was the, you know what I mean? That we grew up in a very desolate area in New Jersey. There wasn't a lot of stuff to do. Like it was a good opportunity to be creative with what you had.
Yeah. Yeah.
Making ramps out of nothing.
Yeah. We were skateboarding all morning. And then, I mean, I haven't skateboarded in a long time. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sore.
Yeah. I'm going to feel it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I was skateboarding in California, but it's different when you hit altitude like where we're at now.
That was a big thing. Skateboarding. Now kids
brought us together.
They play skateboarding video games.
Yeah.
Right? It's totally different.
And they watch people. The thing is they watch other people play video games. Mm-hmm. They don't even play the video games. The big thing is watching other people, living vicariously through other people is like have you seen that? Like these streamers that all they do is they just play video games and kids watch it and they make millions of dollars just playing the video game and having, that's a big thing.
You can start a side business.
I remember I didn't even have a computer until I was like in high school. Mm-hmm. And it was dial up.
Right. Yeah. What was that sound?
Yeah. I just remember my dad yelling at me like I'm on the phone and I had to log off the computer because I ran through the cable line.
Yeah. And then you'd stay on and listen to the talk for a while.
Yep.
I'm not here. You're here.
Remember chasing the deer in the backyard? We were young.
No.
We used to have a lot of deer back there.
I don't remember.
You remember that?
No.
We used to run outside our backyard. I think it was more during like the winter. We would chase the deer.
Oh, yeah.
We used to go sledding a lot.
I remember throwing snowballs at cars.
Yeah, some of them had rocks in them, but
Airsoft BBs.
I remember you pelted me one time and I was very upset. You had that nice airsoft gun and I came outside to meet you and you just absolutely scorched me.
Yeah, I was a bit big into airsoft. I shot out Jordan Hemingway's tooth.
Damn.
We were over playing one-on-one airsoft and I just heard like and I thought it hit his glasses and he screamed.
It was his tooth?
Cut his front tooth right in half.
I was hanging out with Leo, who he'll be more prevalent later on when you ask me that one question I told you to ask me. And this is prior to joining the Army, and he shot me in the eye with an airsoft gun. I almost couldn't join because he like pierced my retina.
Yeah.
Which was crazy.
Damn.
That was a big thing as a child. I don't think kids do that anymore. Like run around the woods and just like pretend to play Army.
No, that's what I mean. They play video games and I mean, we based our own capabilities and decision-making processes and problem-solving abilities on those experiences in the woods. Mm-hmm. And now that's all screen-based and they're playing Call of Duty and they feel like their capabilities are way up here. Mm-hmm. In reality, they're not doing anything.
I remember going home with ticks meant you had a good day.
Yeah, ticks.
You got a couple ticks on it. I had a good day.
Yeah, I think that's all a good segue. We both ended up joining the Army. Mm-hmm. You joined at what, 16?
17.
Yeah.
17. I did split ops.
So what is that?
So what I did was I made a rookie move, and being a prior recruiter, I understand now the reasons why I was baited into the National Guard, why it seemed so advantageous, because they sold it really well to where try the military. And if you don't like it, you're part-time. And I was like, that's sick. And they were like, you can join now. Like, that's awesome.
Where was the bait and switch?
The bait and switch was, it's a nightmare to go full-time.
Right.
And I was like, dang, that's tough. But yeah, I joined at 17. I had junior year of high school. I went to boot camp. And then I went back to high school after you graduated. Mm-hmm. And then, which was a very difficult period because you learn all these different traits about like professionalism and how to be just, you know what I mean? You start getting that mentor mentality, and then going back to high school it's not a good move. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think the split ops program was designed to really be like that. So it was kind of rough to go back and then see people that I was friends with before with no progression, and then I have all this progression. It's like, I don't feel like I assimilate with these people. Because you asked me yesterday if I talk to anybody, and I feel like that was the reason why I don't, is because I lost connections with my peers because they weren't my peers anymore.
Right.
I had a different select group of people that I felt like I was a part of.
Yeah, you went off and got a dose of maturity and then came back and still had to do child stuff.
And I was like, I can't handle this.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I was pretty envious though when you had a uniform and I was still just smoking weed.
I feel like I was the first person I think in our high school to join. It was a big deal.
Yeah, I remember.
And then I saw that I got a lot of ridicule for that, and then it flipped. And then after you joined, it was like a flood. Like all these people started to join. It was like we were trendsetters.
Yeah, there was one other guy. I forget Taylor. His name was Taylor. He joined the Marines. Forget his last name.
Taylor?
Yeah, maybe not.
I know who you're talking about.
I forget his last name, but
oh, I know exactly. I still talk to him all the time.
Oh, really?
Not Taylor. Dang.
Oh, I know Chris. No, I'm just saying generic names.
He's got long hair now. He owns a indoor golf simulation. Oh my God. John.
Yeah.
John Clausen.
John
Clausen.
I remember it was a generic name.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy. Joined the Marines. He's one of those people that joined the Marines and he didn't take on those character traits. He's just the same dude.
Really?
Yeah. He's a really, really nice guy.
Yeah.
You should reconnect with him.
I would. Yeah. We talked.
I talk about you all the time to him.
Yeah. I got off social media, but when I had Facebook, I think we talked on there quite a bit.
Because when you went through selection, he was going through MARSOC. And he made it through their Q course and then got hurt at the end. And then that's why he got medically retired.
Okay.
But you guys were doing the pipeline at the
same time.
Yeah, you just didn't, just two different branches.
Matt had to be way harder. MARSOC.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's got to be the same thing.
Something.
They have a lot more.
It all sucks. You end up hungry and tired at some point. Yeah. But yeah, we both joined. I joined at 18 after I graduated because my parents wouldn't sign the initial entry program.
Is that true? Really?
Yeah, and I thank my dad every day for it because if they would have signed that paperwork, so I was 17, wanted to be a Marine combat engineer, and my mom was like, "Yeah, go do it. I'll sign anything." And my dad, Vietnam veteran, 80 years old, no, I'm not signing that because if you die, your life is on my hands. And looking back, I totally understand. But I mean, I would have joined the Marines as a combat engineer in 2010. I can't imagine where my life would have gone. And then I ended up waiting till I was 18. I went into the Marine recruiter. They didn't have combat engineer. So then you were like, come over to the Army recruiter. And he was like, combat engineer, we got EOD. Have you ever heard of that? No. It's like, you want to disarm bombs and get a big bonus? I was like, sign me up. So I remember
going to your dad's house before you signed the paperwork when you were in the decision phase of joining, and we watched The Hurt Locker, which I heard is not a good representation of that job.
Of course, I mean it's a Hollywood movie, but
I do remember us sitting there and you're like, this is what I'm doing.
It definitely had some influence on my 17-year-old brain. Yeah,
he was also scared.
Yeah.
He wasn't feeling that too hot.
I mean, it was a professional community within the military. I think that's what he saw because it was the more specialized you get, the more professional it is. So I think
it's just the inherent risk.
Right.
You're putting yourself into a position that most people wouldn't want to be in. That's the most dangerous line of work. Like if you can't use a robot, that's you. Right. Like that's kudos to you. It's the hardest training too. I'd say that the analytical side of that training was probably harder than your SF training. Yeah, I mean the medical, because I was at 18 Delta, the medical training was pretty difficult and comparable to EOD training. But I mean, we learned about. I mean, I can't even repeat it now because I feel like I forgot most of the information, but a lot about, the basics of electronics and how voltage works and how batteries and capacitors might influence the ability of an IED to go off. And I mean, we got into it and I was only 18. I was so moldable. It was just kind of scary to think about. I just remember you texting me like, oh, I passed this test. And I was like, hell yeah. There was so many. There was so many. It was like weekly, if not like two a week. I feel like you were taking tests constantly. My whole family talks about that. My dad still talks about that. He's like, I remember when you were going through EOD school, I felt like I was in it. I felt like I was just as stressed out as you were. You enveloped us in there because we were all invested in your success. Yeah. I mean, it's like a 30% pass rate school. Yeah. I'm 18. I was like smoking weed and running around in the woods weeks ago. And now I'm in this high-end military school with freaking Air Force and Navy and Marines and high-ranking. I had no idea. I forgot it is a multi-branch school. That's at Lackland, right? Eglin. Yeah, it's the Navy school, but we all attend it. And then the Navy goes off. Navy is the proprietor for EOD, right? Yeah. They're like the NAV branch. School, EOD. But that's interesting that they hold that school, but like the Army holds the majority of like other schools. Else. Yeah, because they go to our airborne and everything else.
But I was thinking about this question. I don't know if I have an answer, so you can answer first. But why did we join the Army?
I was very impressionable young. We had a friend, Leo, mutual friend, lived in the neighborhood. Terrible person.
Trouble.
Absolutely terrible. And I think that's what drew to me, because I was brought up very prim and proper. Like, if I was any skating the line, my ass was locked in my room. Like, there was no. So it was nice to see somebody that had so much freedom to live vicariously through them, because they were just such a terrible person,
Right.
like running drugs in Trenton, New Jersey as a child.
Really?
Guy got suspended from high school because he brought swords to school. And that was like during 9/11 area, where like it was a no to bring, not that you should ever, it was ever okay, but
Right.
the period of time that he did it wasn't the most advantageous for him. But I remember we had one encounter. We were outside smoking, and he was like, "I'm joining the Army."
He said that.
He told me.
Oh, okay.
And I remember vividly in his backyard. He's like, "I'm joining the Army." I talked to a recruiter. And I was like, "Dang, that's tough, dog." And I had no thoughts at all. But because I was so impressionable by him, I was like, "I'm going to do it." So then I started taking the steps to join as well. It wasn't my own product of like thought.
Right.
Like, I never thought to join the military. Ended up being that he got in trouble with drugs, and he couldn't go because of the whole school thing and bringing heroin to school and all that. So yeah, you're back, kid.
We went to like a freaking like upper middle class high school.
We went to
like,
a very proper place where like that type of riffraff isn't happening. He was just a product of just like parents that just didn't watch him. But he never shipped, and then I shipped.
Yeah. But when you grow up in a strict household and then you see someone who's very rebellious, you don't have like the common sense to understand.
Very alluring.
It's not a good thing. But then it's just different.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting.
It's exciting because like I'm watching someone break the norm. This dude used to steal packages from people's houses. Like, he was a bad dude. Like, I remember like I'd meet him in our woods. The woods was like, that was our sanctuary.
Yeah.
Like, everything would be enveloped around the woods. Like, I remember like the cops actually patrolling Windsor Ponds woods.
We knew the woods, like I don't know the back of my hand well, but I knew
just
it really
bounce.
well.
You knew the areas where to stash. Everybody had like a little stash tree.
Yeah, it was like this neighborhood kind of wrapped around like 270 degrees around a big pond. And then there was just woods, like dense East Coast woods around that whole thing. And we had trails all in there.
Which was crazy because that neighborhood was relatively new. So like, were those trails there prior?
I don't know, because that other neighborhood was right there. And then there was really nothing between there and the highway. I forget that road, Route 1 maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, because those were pretty like developed trails.
Yeah. Man, I got to tell a story, because remember the train tracks back there?
Yes.
I don't know if it was with you or Tim, but we used to put stuff on the railroad tracks.
That's crazy.
Was it with you?
That wasn't with me, but I have my own train story.
So this is closer to dying than I ever almost died in the military. I swear this is like the moment where I probably should have died and I didn't. I don't know how, but we were putting a bunch of bullshit on the track. Like, it started with pennies and quarters, and then we'd go down there and find whole like railroad ties and just squiggly pieces of steel that they left when they were building the tracks. And we'd put lines of it on there. I don't know what we were doing. Like, if we would derail a train or something, like big chunks of steel, nothing light, like graduated from pennies. And then we'd run up when a train would be coming, because you kind of hear the buzz and you can tell one was coming, if it was coming fast or not. So we'd put a bunch of shit on there, and then we'd run up behind this tree, and then we'd poke our head around it. And then this train came in and it started honking because it saw it, obviously. And one of the pieces flew out, and I saw it, but it was coming so fast I didn't move, and it hit the tree maybe 8 inches above my head. Just took a huge piece out of the tree, huge chunk out of the tree. Wood flew everywhere. The piece went flying. I mean, that thing was probably coming at 100, 150 miles an hour.
And that was a railroad tie?
A railroad tie. Dang. That should have went straight into my forehead.
That's crazy.
I remember like laughing it off.
Was that like the last time you did that?
Probably not.
No,
probably not. But we probably hid better. But that was fucking scary.
Those tracks were like a pretty like. There was a lot of routes you can get to a lot of places where we lived.
Yeah, that was scary.
I used to walk to the mall.
Right.
I'd get the hell out of the house and just walk to the mall and take the tracks.
Yeah.
There was a lot of bums back there, though.
Off-topic story, but Leo motivated you to join the military.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I've been telling that story for the last 16 years because people in recruiting, as a recruiter, I would always be asked, why did I join? I don't lie to the kids. Like I was peer pressured into joining. It's probably the best peer pressure I've ever had.
And you're looking at them like, I'm not peer pressuring you, but we got a quota.
The reason was I was very impressionable, and I looked up to this person regardless of just such a destructive human being, and I decided that I was going to emulate them. So joined the military, and only one of us ended up actually having a career.
Yeah, man.
I did it for 16 years though, off of somebody.
Yeah.
Just like, I think there was a point to where I needed it though. I needed that discipline.
Yeah.
But I needed that individuality too, because you become an individual too. You're conformed in the military, but you're still an individual. Like you're still like learning how to live without mom and dad. Like I'm going to do my own stuff. I think I needed that. But then there was a point in the career where I learned that I don't appreciate that anymore. I want to just be Dylan.
Yeah. I have a theory. So I work with a lot of veterans at school and obviously on the podcast in Mount Carmel, but tell me if I'm wrong. I think a lot of veterans, a lot of guys who join the military, guys and girls who join the military, they do it for reasons like that. Like I think we come from maybe broken households, kind of have a lack of purpose coming out of high school. Maybe we had jobs not work out, girlfriend, boyfriend breaks up with us. Like we come from kind of a rough around the edges childhood, you know, by any definition, whatever you want to, however you want to explain that. And I think we all in a way join the military for selfish reasons in a way, like, pride. I want to serve the country. I want to make sure my families can be safe here. So we're going to take care of all danger, overseas. So that effort comes here. Like that's all in it too. I'm very patriotic, but in a way I had something to prove too, grew up in a divorced household, kind of, my dad was a Vietnam veteran. I want to prove to him that I was good enough. I wanted to prove to my high school teachers that I was worth something because they all told me I was nothing, had D's all through high school.
Especially the high school that we went into.
Yeah.
Like that was a factory of just like, if you weren't conformed to the demographics, you weren't going to be successful.
Yeah. But we all join the military with like, we're trying to get something out of it. We're trying to feel better about ourselves.
It fills a void.
It does fill a void. That's kind of what I'm beating around the bush.
I think eventually though, that void gets filled. And I always told people during my entire career that there's two different types of war fighters. You're going to have people that are 20-year soldiers, and then you have soldiers that are career soldiers. The career soldiers are the ones that are like, they do their 20 years, they still show up to base and do all the events. Like they can't knock it. That's just who they are. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just realized a long time ago that I'm a 20-year soldier. Like I'm going to do my time and then I don't want to talk about it anymore. Like it was just a job.
Right. But I think that's where you get the salty veteran. I think, both you and I got kind of exhausted. I think we realized that the Army is never going to fill that void. But in a way, the Army gives us the skills like discipline, resilience, work ethic, drive, physical strength, mental strength. It was the best thing that's ever happened in my life. So you begin to learn how to fill that void on your own. And then you realize it's not going to come from the military. And so you get out and have a successful life. But I think that dip right after you get out of the military, or right when you're getting out of the military, that saltiness, that bitterness, that negativity, it's because you realize that you joined the Army to fill a void and then it's never going to fill it. That purpose.
I always told people that like the Army's always given me three things: is purpose, motivation, and direction. Like that's been like my whole career. Getting out now, it's not scary like I thought it would be. I think I hit that turning point to where like there's a while where you're in and you're I call it the fear of the Army. You're afraid of the Army. If you're not afraid of the Army, like you don't respect the organization. Like there has to be some fear of like leadership or like getting in trouble and doing the wrong thing. There's a fear that's behind it. And that fear also is when you do your re-enlistment and they tell you like, are you sure you want to get out? Do you have a plan? And then you realize that you've been in this organization for so long that there is no plan. I hit that point where I realized that I could do better on the outside, and that's okay.
I mean, you can kind of guide your career, changing MOS and whatnot, but once you're in a job, I mean, you're not in control. You're not in control. So they don't really do a good job at, long-term planning as a soldier, because you're kind of just along for the ride.
They compress it at the end where you get out and they make you take all these SFL taps and they make you do all these like resume classes. And it's like, where was this during my career to set me up prior to? I think that's something that the military needs to invest in is early preparation for getting out. Not just wait to the last 2 weeks before you're out. Yeah. Like I already had my stuff together. I already had degrees. Like I'm good. Like I'm set. I have my resume. I use the resources that the military has, which is great. we luckily picked a really good job that takes care of us on the outside. Like my wife's job, she gets hurt, that's it. You don't get compensation. Like we picked a really, really good job to have young, and it's nice that we're in our 30s and we're already retired and we can just do labors of love for the rest of our lives and know that we're going to get dual paychecks. It is a very humbling thing, but there was a lot to give to get that.
It came at an expense. It wasn't cheap.
It wasn't cheap. Like I feel like there's parts of me that are still in Afghanistan. There's parts of me that are still at certain trainings that I went to that for brag. I'm still on Ardennes running. Every morning you'll catch my ghost just like sprinting down Ardennes, just hating my life.
Camp McCall.
Got
some blood there.
Yeah.
I would like to take a brief moment to thank one of our sponsors, USAA. USAA is celebrating over 100 years of service to our military community. It all started in 1922 when a group of soldiers insured each other's vehicles when no one else would. With USAA's launch of Face the Fight Coalition to counter veteran suicide, we're elated to have them as a sponsor of the Vantage Point. If you're a veteran, active duty, or a family member of someone who has served, check out USAA.com to see how they can help you today.
Well, yeah. What was your first job? Let's walk through our military careers.
I was artillery.
Yeah.
I was artillery. I did cannon crew member. I wanted to do infantry, but with the split ops program, I wasn't able to do the OSUT training in the amount of time, and they couldn't split it up. So I was required to pick another job at MEPS, which being a recruiter now, I would have probably told myself to hold what I got. But I was young. I didn't know any better. It's a very different mentality right now. Like when, as a recruiter, seeing how these kids are, like they're very opinionated. They know what they want and they won't take less. Or you'll get them what they want and they still don't want to take it. Like they'll find an excuse. I remember as a kid, it was like, this is an authoritative figure. I'm sitting in front of him. I need to make this decision now because that's just the way it is. Like this isn't me to play around.
It's really cool to get this perspective because you spent so much time as a recruiter, but now you're talking about your early days in the military and you have this very unique perspective on who you were then as a recruiter.
I emulate with some of the applicants that I worked with. I was a very selective recruiter. I didn't work with everybody. If I couldn't assimilate with you as a person, I just didn't want to be your full cycle recruiter because I don't want to put you into a career if I don't have any drive to want to work with you. So I'd hand people off to other recruiters unless I found someone that was apropos to who I was when I was then. And it was very easy to put people in because you just learn that like, okay, this is how I would want to be talked to. Right. And this is remembering the fine line between like, yes, it's a volunteer military, but at the end of the day, you're selling something. And it's a job interview. A lot of like military, like Marines are very good at that. They treat it as a job interview. Why should we let you join the United States Marine Corps? The Army doesn't do that. It's what can we give you so you're willing to join?
Right.
That did not resonate with me.
Right. So where did being a cannon crew member take you?
Took me to, I did a little fun deployment in Qatar. And then at the end of the Qatar, I just realized that I wasn't serving the purpose the National Guard was cool. It's really good for someone that's wanted to do college. I would still advocate people to do Army Reserve, stay federal. But the job itself, I wanted full time. I saw you, I was living vicariously through you, and I was seeing that you were doing some great stuff, getting that big ass paycheck, and I was like, damn, I'm getting like $200. It's just crazy.
Yeah, but I was going all over the place, not always at cool places, but
you were like, yeah, but that was cool because the EOD, you can do real world stuff.
Yeah, I'm lying. It was cool.
You get to go, you have states that you work with hand in hand, and you can go out there and do disposable stuff or help out the law enforcement. That's cool. I've never had jobs that were able to link me in with. I've been very infantry, airborne, or I did the artillery stuff. The only cool job I would say I did that I actually got a lot of pride was recruiting. Like once Afghanistan ended and we weren't doing infantry stuff anymore, it wasn't cool. I don't want to just mop.
Right.
I don't want to watch some kid mop. I don't want to have to yell at somebody just because the sake of yelling at someone. That's not cool.
Yeah.
That makes me feel bad.
Right. So what years was that? So
from 2010 to 2015, I was artillery.
Okay.
And then my birthday.
All guard?
Guard.
Right.
And I switched to active duty. I actually had to take the ASVAB again in Qatar because my GT wasn't high enough, and there was a big push for 18X at that point.
Right.
So the only way you could come back into the military as a prior service applicant would be to go 18X. So I had to study really hard in Qatar to make the grades to get the GT score that was required, which I don't know how I did it. I think I just guessed really lucky.
Yeah.
Like I went from a 76 GT, something just dumb, to like 114. Like it doesn't compute.
Right.
I don't know where that score came from, but it happened. And then I went down to the recruiting station. I applied, did the SF screening and all that stuff. And then I think that was before you went down that route.
No, I think you went first.
I never went through selection.
Ever.
No, not at that point.
Okay.
I did go to selection.
Because that was in 2015.
I took that contract as a conduit to be able to go active duty.
Right.
And then when I made it to student company at Fort Bragg, I was like, this isn't for me right now. And that's okay. Like, I'm just not, I don't have the mental maturity yet and the physical toughness to make this a good choice for me right now. So then I just went to Alaska at that point to be part of the 4th Brigade, 25th Infantry.
Which sounded awesome.
I loved it.
Jumping all the time.
Loved it. Jumped all the time into the snow. It was sick.
I think you went there first because 2015 I was in Afghanistan.
But you were airborne first.
Yeah, I went to airborne school for fun. Because
I remember you were at Fort Benning when I went to airborne school.
I just walked over there. I'd walk over there every Monday morning when they were doing roll call. And when people wouldn't show up, there would be a, standby, like just people from Fort Benning, like, hey, if you guys have extra spots, will you let me in? And I did that for months and they'd always be full. It's the most popular school in the Army. And there was one week when they had 5-6 slots maybe, and they just went, you. And I was one of them. So I just got in. Out. Yeah.
I remember when I went to basic training in 2015, November 19th, the second time, because I had to redo basic training because I went from the guard, which is fine, but then I went to you have to do OSUT, so they have to put you in wherever they could put you in. It just so happened I did all of basic training again, which was crazy. But I remember that you were there, at Benning, stationed there with the EOD unit, which was cool because when I would get my time as a prior service recruit going through basic training, we get to spend time together. Yeah. Go to the PX.
Yeah, being stationed at Benning was fucking weird.
It was nice having an ally because it was very humbling to have to put myself back into that trainee mindset again. So it was nice having you there. Yeah. And being able to spend that quality time. You got to pin me during airborne school, which was cool. Sick.
I probably got that picture. Hopefully I'll post it.
That was a long time ago, dude. You were my family there. Yeah. Got to pin me, my blood wings.
My dad was there.
Was he?
Right? I'm pretty sure.
I don't think he was.
I'm pretty sure he was.
I don't have those wings anymore. That's a big regret of mine.
Really?
I lost them.
Damn. I got mine. I
got all my original badges. The really shitty looking, non-stay bright.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think I got all my original badges. I got. Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure my dad was there. I think
he might have been.
I think he flew or drove down.
It was a very long time ago.
We were all close back in the day. He was like, you were like his other son.
Yeah, it was really interesting how we kind of followed each other. Yeah, like Windsor Ponds. We were really close to each other. And then we moved, my dad moved out to Howell, which is where your dad lived. So it was like, I lived next to where your mom lived, and then I lived next to where your dad did. And we fostered a really close family relationship with both of them. Yeah. Which was nice. Your dad taught me how to dip.
Yeah, still dip. You dipping right now?
No.
Oh, damn. We're caffeined up, though.
We're caffeinated.
Yeah, let's talk about airborne school real quick. Like, we brushed over it, but now, a lot of people go to that school and it kind of gets brushed off, but I feel like jumping out of a plane for the first time changed my life.
I just remember them opening the door and the jump master was like, shit just got real.
It's not right. Like, it's not right being in a plane and the door's open.
I hated it.
It's fucking scary.
I hated it until terrifying. I jumped out.
Yeah, and jumping, I don't understand how the first time I remember I think I was number 11 or 12 in the chalk, and I think you do 15 at a time. So I was towards the back, and I remember standing up there, static line in my hand. I was on I know there's a, proper, but I was on the starboard, the right side, whatever that is in proper terms. So I was walking and I was jumping out left. And the first guy, he started going, he handed off static line. He started going, I started walking towards the door, and it was like I was on autopilot. I don't even remember initiating the muscle movements to make that happen, I was so scared. But I think that's why you train for 2 weeks first, like literally just walking, turning. Because when you're up in the air and it's scary and there's like, you know, consequences for not doing this correctly, you freeze up. But it was just autopilot. And I remember turning left and seeing outside for the first time, and then you're just out the door. And it's like throwing yourself into a washing machine, because in the plane, it's, you know, pretty stable. There's no wind. It's just kind of calm.
Just straight
it's loud, but yeah, it's just, I mean, there's no wind. And all of a sudden it's like sticking your hand out the window on the highway, but times 2 or 3.
Have you ever been to jump master school?
No.
So when I went through, they actually have you like
stick your head
It's
out.
called clear to the rear. And you actually stick your whole body outside the plane. And you're checking to make sure that everything is cleaned up.
Sketchy.
And you can't breathe.
Right.
I've never felt that before. Like you can't.
You got glasses on, goggles.
You got shit.
You're just like taking it.
Can't breathe. There's so much air. It's just you can't take it in.
That's what I mean. It's a whole different breed of person. The airborne.
I did find it very hilarious that the majority of people that didn't make it through airborne didn't make it through airborne because they didn't jump. They didn't make it through airborne because they pulled a red cord handle.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so you have
seeing kids, they just finish their jump and they're walking back with their reserve and they just pop it right before they give it to the JM.
Yeah, once you land, you have your reserve, which is bolted to the front of you, strapped to the front of you, and then there's a big red handle on the front. That's how you deploy it. But on top, there's a gray handle, and that's how you're supposed to carry it. And you're just so hopped up on adrenaline, you grab the red handle, your reserve pops.
My first jump was probably my best jump of my entire career.
Oh, I'm
I got like 40. I got like 40 something jumps. Not a ton, but still, I would say that's a pretty handsome amount.
Yeah.
My first jump was my cleanest jump ever.
Really? My first was rough, and I think
it was Hollywood.
I had fear going into all my jumps.
Did you?
Yeah, because I screwed up my left knee.
I was terrified.
Yeah.
Until the green light hit.
Yeah.
And then I just, like you said, autopilot.
Dude, I hit the ground so hard, and it was a left side PLF, and I just remember slamming.
You got a good memory that you remember that.
Because my left knee screwed up to this day.
I couldn't even tell you what door I jumped out of.
Really?
I didn't even do any night jumps at school.
Yeah.
Did they make you jump at night?
Not in airborne. Free fall, we did a lot of night jumps.
Terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I remember that first jump. I remember hitting the ground. Like, I remember jumping out, chute opened. I was all excited. Then I realized how fast you're going towards the ground. You don't really think about that until you're doing it for the first time. You're not going slow when you hit the ground. It's a slam, a controlled fall. And I slammed into the ground. I felt something pop in my knee, and it was screwed up. I've never got it diagnosed. I've had x-rays. They say nothing's wrong with it. But I remember putting a sleeve over it, and I duct taped above and below my knee to just keep it stable because it was in so much pain.
You know, I forgot about this until now. My second jump, I hit a thermal. Do you know what a thermal is?
Yeah, you just start going up.
I just started going up. And I'm like looking around. I'm like, everybody's going down. And I'm
higher than the plane.
And then the plane did another pass. And I'm still in the sky. And I was like, shit, what am I supposed to do? And then I remembered my training. And they were like, pull one riser slip and dump out the hot air. And I was like, I was up there for a hot minute. Like,
it's scary.
It's like I jumped out and then all the prop blasts just hit my chute and just filled it with like a hot air balloon.
That's probably what it is.
And I was like, that's crazy. I was just floating up there.
I think a crazy thing to conceptualize is being under a parachute hanging from strings like hundreds of feet above the ground. Scary.
I just don't think that it makes sense anymore to do that. If they got rid of it, like I would be like, that makes complete sense.
Static line makes no sense.
I just don't see the advantage on the modern battlefield to only if you're going to jump at a significantly far distance away from wherever conflict is, just to establish a foothold, maybe. But like the technology we have now, like they could shoot drones out of the sky. My punk ass is cooked.
Yeah, there's no point.
Like I'm done.
I think it's just more of a historical thing.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I got to jump into Thailand. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool.
Marijuana fields everywhere. I was like, that shit's...
You get $150 a month. That's cool.
It wasn't worth it.
No, it wasn't worth it.
Make you jump almost 6 times a year.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was cool. Every time I was terrified. Anytime I remember they would post at the company, oh my God, the manifest. And you pray you're not on it.
Right.
You just pray.
And you're always on it.
You might make me sound weak, but I would pray I wasn't on that manifest. Because the 82nd Airborne, they don't just do jumps. Everything is a continuous follow on. So if you're jumping, it's not a Hollywood jump. unless it's your first jump. Like they don't do fun jumps unless it's on the weekend. You have to give up your weekend time, which is cool that they do that. So if your pay hurt, you can jump on the weekend at Bragg. Like you just go down to, I forgot which drop zone it was, but you just go down there and they just do Chinook or helicopter jumps.
Those are the best.
On the weekend.
Chinook jumps are the best.
Chinook jump is the best.
Yeah.
Black Hawk is by far the worst jump. Absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, just to paint the picture. So it's C-130, big long school bus. You walk towards the back, you turn left, and you're
45-degree angle.
You're jumping perpendicular to the air that's moving outside, which is very violent.
Just float.
Yeah. Black Hawk, you're just sitting on the edge and then you just lean off, but the Black Hawk isn't moving very fast. So you feel the descent. Like you get the butterflies in your stomach. It's fucking scary. And then Chinook is the best, which you feel the butterflies, but it's not as bad because you just walk out the back and literally just fall off.
Yeah, because the Black Hawk, you jump 8.
Yeah.
And I remember they always made me number 4.
Yeah.
And number 4 has to sit on the chair.
Right.
You're not the first 3 that get to dangle.
So you got to hurry up.
So now like I'm like watching, like already afraid of heights, watching these dudes push their bodies off like they're going into a pool.
Dude, it's insane.
And then I got to stand up in the bird and then with my ruck on and then hobble over to the edge with a JM just looking at me like it's
Meanwhile, your static line, you're just like, is that thing good? Like what's going on? Yeah.
Yeah,
that's scary.
Scariest jumps.
Yeah.
I've done it a few times. I've never.
Yeah.
I would rather jump out of a 130.
I like the Chinook ones.
You like the Chinook?
Yeah.
It's cool because you get to just walk off. You kind of float. I think I've gotten the least amount of twists jumping.
Right. Yeah, because you're just going straight out.
I remember I was Twist City at jump school because you don't know what you're doing. You just oscillate.
Yeah.
You just like look up. You're like, that's crazy. I'm like choking myself with these twists. Like I'm cigarette rolled.
Right. Dude, that was scary. I went to free fall school and I feel like there was way less inherent risk in free fall than there was static line because I felt like I had more autonomy. I was in charge of what was going on.
More time.
Way more time. That I was explaining static line is scary because you have no time. You're jumping out at 1,200 feet max, 1,250 I think it is max. Yeah, and usually like 800 or 900. So then you jump out and you have 6 seconds, right? You count to 6 and then the chute opens. So you're already at what, 700 feet, 600 feet, 500 feet when your chute's opening.
Before you know, you're at 200 feet AGL and you're like, I need to start pulling a rise or slip.
In free fall, you're jumping at 15,000, like
that's
14,
why night jumps,
15,000.
static line night jumps are a monster because you can't even see the ground.
Right.
Especially in Alaska where like everything is white. That like Alaska jumps during the day were scary too because you don't know where the ground is because there's so much snow.
No perception.
But then you kind of just land straight and then you'll just hear like the dudes on the ground like, hey, peel off. You're like, oh shit. You just like pretend to fall.
It's soft.
Yeah, you just like a lawn dart and just just tip over to the side and just pretend.
Yeah. Airborne. Fun times. So you ended up going to selection or not. Yeah. How did you end up in infantry then?
Because when I disregarded the contract for 18X, I was lucky enough that the needs of the Army allowed me to stay
in infantry.
And that's not usually the case for most people. So you become, as I said, needs of the Army. They can make you a truck driver.
Yeah.
I just remember going to student company back again after, and they're like, you're waiting on orders. And then I luckily got orders for infantry to go. And that was where everybody was going because I didn't know at the time, but they were planning to go to Afghanistan. So they were trying to bump their numbers up for the brigade because that's the last 4th Brigade anywhere. They don't do 4th Brigades anymore.
Really?
Like it's gone now. Now it's part of I think it's called like the 11th Airborne Division or whatever their name is. It's gone. Like 4th Brigades are gone. But they filled those ranks because they needed us to actually do our jobs, which was cool. It was just exciting and scary at the same point because I'm brand new. I've been in a while, so they're already expecting me to be a leader in a new profession. That's not a play around type of profession. Like artillery to infantry are vastly different. Like patrol bases when it comes to like artillery it's just doing sector sketches and then having your pieces set up, your gun line, and then having Mark 19 set up. Like there is no per se patrol base that you're going to be working out of. Like learning strategic moves I had to learn quick.
Really?
Because as soon as I got to Afghanistan, I pinned 5. So it's like, this isn't playtime. Like this, these are people's lives that I'm in charge of. It's a very humbling experience to have to, especially some of the trauma and stuff, you learn that you have to, it's like talking to my therapist, like you compartmentalize your own bullshit because you have other people's lives that you have to make sure are in a good spot. So it's weird to like have to eat your own feelings to make sure other people are in a good spot. It's a very humbling pie to eat.
Yeah. So how long you switched to infantry, then you ended up in Afghanistan? How long was that?
Dude, it was quick. It was like a year.
Oh, okay.
I got a year worth of training on how to be in the infantry, and they expected a lot out of me, like really quick, because no one took the time to. They just read prior service. They didn't realize that I was prior service another MOS. So I immediately took up a leadership role and did terrible, which is to be expected. There was a lot of ridicule on that, but then I learned just like, that's where like my mentality changed, where like I like to read about my job. So I was really good at recruiting because I learned like learn about your job. There's a lot of literature out there. Experience is going to follow. But if you have a good rudimentary baseline of knowledge of what proper procedures are, you'll do well. So like my head was always in the book in Afghanistan. Anytime before we did a mission, I would pull out my book. I'd be doing my own trainings and stuff to just get myself grounded on the job. Because there's a lot of what we do is doctrinal. Like a lot. It's probably the same thing for SF. Everything is very scripted.
Right.
But the issue is that and I pride myself on saying the infantry SF is probably the two hardest MOSs because, yeah, I could tell you to be a code writer or like one of those jobs, but that's the same. It's the same job every day. You're going to do the same thing. I have to like try to figure out what this enemy is trying to do to hurt me.
Yeah.
Like he might hit me with an ambush, but it could be a feint. Like they could be trying to hit me from somewhere else. Like it's just like really figuring out like what's their battle space and what's their composition and disposition right now. And what are they willing to do to defeat us, which is crazy. And having to learn that within a year of picking up the job, because it's very different to be a Joe and go through that was my first tour, like real tour. And it was in a leadership position. So it was like, there was a lot of weight on my shoulders. Like this isn't playtime. Like I'm with people that have been doing this for years. The Joes under me, they've been doing this longer than me too. And I need to be expected to advocate what they're supposed to do. So it was very humbling. I loved it though.
How did you feel getting orders to Afghanistan the first time?
Oh, I was happy.
Happy?
Oh yeah.
Not nervous?
I was nervous when I got on the plane. Yeah. I remember it's a very surreal feeling. Like I remember we were very fortunate that we got to actually do our job for the most part. Like, and then going on these little birds and flying to different parts of Afghanistan, it was like, you feel like you're in a movie. Like your only perception of it is like what you've seen in movies. So like, I remember going on like a Chinook to fly from Bagram to Mazar Sharif and just being like, damn, there's some badass shit. Like, this is crazy. Like, my introduction was getting flown by myself from Jbad to Camp Premier, which was in Kunduz province. And then the door gunners actually having to do their job and shoot dudes in the mountains that were shooting at us. I was like, that's crazy. Like, this is my introduction to Afghanistan. Like,
welcome to Afghanistan.
This is real.
Yeah.
This shit was cool.
You were there for 9 months, 12 months? Yeah.
9 months.
Yeah. What kind of stuff went down? What kind of missions were you doing?
We did a lot of peacekeeping missions. We did a lot of Guardian Angel stuff. And then we got to work with the SF. And that's where we started to do the more fun stuff. So we pulled a lot of security for you guys. But we were really tied in pretty cool with A&A too. We didn't do as much dismounted patrols as we wanted. The biggest issue that we had was there was so much assets that you guys get that we weren't able to have as much fun as we wanted because Taliban and ISIS, I was more so ISIS at Inherent Resolve time. They didn't want to play around with us because there was so much air assets. Like you guys had like gunships in the sky at all times. Like it was like they would just hide from us. But it was cool. We got to do some patrols and actually like do our job for a little bit.
Yeah.
Sniper suck. That was pretty fucking weak.
Yeah.
Not knowing where they're at. And then ROE at the time was if you don't have PID, you can't engage. So just like having to just succumb to somebody shooting pot shots at us and not being able to find distance, direction, or description it was a nightmare.
Was there any moments or times that you can recall in Afghanistan that were kind of pivotal moments in your life? Like lessons learned or scrapes with death?
A lot of what I learned is about life. I learned a lot that like there was times where it was like I didn't go through as much crazy stuff as most people. I feel like I went through a good amount of crazy stuff, but I learned that like life is very short. So but the perspective of life changed for me that like I could just like we would be sitting in our little hoots and you just hear a V-bid go off and I was like that could have been us. Like we could have been on a patrol. That could have happened. We went out on a patrol and we were setting up concertina wire And I had to shoot somebody one time with a non-lethal. It wasn't anything crazy. They were throwing rocks at us, so we used a non-lethal. Well, they came back the next day for the other people that offset us, and they started throwing actual live hand grenades. So I was like, damn, I kind of started that shit.
Yeah,
That's just crazy.
Jeez.
They didn't go off.
Yeah.
But they got schwacked.
That's what I mean. I think just being in an environment, whether you experience or not, just knowing death is all around you. People's lives are changing every moment in that country, both the Americans and the locals. It does give you a new lens on life. You take it more seriously.
It very serious because like you're in a third world country where people want you just drive down the road in a convoy and you can just hear them profanity America, just like hating us, throwing rocks at our windshields and stuff. Is crazy. And it's like you can't do anything about it. Like the hearts and mind wasn't there at that point as much as I'm sure it is now because we're gone. They're probably like,
they miss us because the Taliban has taken over. Like, wait, they were actually keeping us safe.
Yeah, it wasn't far off once we left. That shit got real bad for them.
6 days I watched it happen.
But the perspective did change. As soon as I got to country, I was like, okay, there is a possibility. Like we lost people in that deployment. That could have been me. Like that, there is a possibility. So it definitely gave me a zest for life after like, okay, I made it through something that there was a higher probability. I wouldn't say it's as dangerous as the perceptions of people. It just depends on what you're doing. Like there's an inherent risk to walk like as a recruiter. I would tell people because people are always so scared. It's like you literally have a higher chance of getting killed by a bus per capita. Getting killed by a bus than getting hurt in the United States Army through conflict. Like there's just a higher probability. Like you can pull statistical data. I think it was only like 20,000 or probably less casualties during that 20-year war. There's like 5 times the amount of people getting hit by buses a year. Like it's not as dangerous, but it definitely changed your perspective because you know inherently there is a high risk. Right. Like this could happen, especially in your line of work with the EOD stuff. Like you're looking for the shit I'm trying to stay away from.
Right. That's what I mean. EOD, that deployment was interesting because nothing happened for like 3 or 4 months. We got there in January, February, March, April, like fighting season once it warms up. And the first thing that happened was me and my team leader at the time, Joe, found an IED. Well, the engineers found the IED and then they called us up to it. And it didn't even feel real because nothing had happened for 4 months. We're like, this is going to be one of those deployments where nothing happens. And then all of a sudden the engineers found something. The Buffalo dug it up. Yep. We got yellow jugs, pressure plates, all kinds of crap. And so we ended up driving the robot down there, digging it out, disarming it, taking the jug off to the side and blowing it up and disposing it. Nothing bad happened. It was a very routine day in the office for an EOD technician, but to like reminisce on that and think about it, like, were those guys watching us? Were we kind of like in someone's scope the entire time? You know, we did test the HME and see what it was, and like that could have gone off at any time. Like
it was a secondary explosive device.
Yeah, anywhere. It's just like the work we were doing was so risky, but because I'm sure, you know, just like in airborne school, you walk to the door and you're pretty much numb because you've done it so many times, even though it's scary. It's the same thing in EOD. Like I know there's going to be a power source. There's going to be a switch. There's going to be a main charge. Like there's going to be these certain components that always exist in an IED because it can't function without those components.
Which is crazy that you can like compartmentalize your fear and do that.
Right.
That's like everybody else stays away from that shit.
Dude, that's what I mean. The school is exceptional at training that into you. And I was 18, but every week it's a new thing. You're practicing on bombs. You're practicing unloading, you know, live rockets from crashed A-10s. Like it's a very in-depth school. And those yellow jugs looked the same in Afghanistan as they did in the school in 2011 when I was there. So it was just like being there and seeing the same yellow jug with red wires and black electric tape. But like now I'm in a desert surrounded by up armored vehicles with body armor and it's 120 degrees and I'm not in Eglin Air Force Base. Like it felt the same.
You guys would always give us training downrange. So like, and then it was always scary because like the EOD would set up like these little EOD course kind of lanes for us, the infantry dudes. And it would be something stupid like you walked over that piece of wire string. Like how the fuck would I ever notice that? And it's crazy like how your brain is wired to be able to pick up on just a slight glint to know to look for that. Like we would all walk past it and they would like, everybody step back. Like look at this wire you just walked across. Like, like little stuff like that, like a copper wire, like which you would
Never see.
Never see, but you guys are trained to like.
Especially in the heat of a moment, like in a firefight or like the lighting's not good. Like you're out doing an EOD lane and you know you're looking for something. When you're out doing missions and stuff, you're not, you're looking, but not really.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They got very inventive, the ISIS. Like they used to set up ice bombs for us.
What was that?
So what they would do is they would take a 107 and they would throw it on a piece of siding on a mountain. And they would take a block of ice and they'd put 2 contacts on the ice.
Yeah.
And it would funnel down into the second contact that would charge the device. So they would set it up so there's no poo site anymore. They can just bounce.
It's like a ice delay fuse.
Yes, and they would just leave. So like we would try to do counterfire and there would be nobody there. Like
That's insane.
They were gone weeks ago. They were just waiting for the ice to melt. Like they do that with jugs of water where they just punch the water with like a punch tool.
Yeah, we saw timers all the time, but they were never actually there, like lighting a fuse like people think in the movies. Like they were very methodical.
How was your second deployment compared to your first?
Well, I went to Ukraine and then Afghanistan, but I don't know. I had a difficult time switching from EOD to being a special forces medic because I went from, like we were talking, EOD mindset. I'm looking for IEDs. I'm looking for, stuff. I'm trying to protect people from explosive devices. And then I became a Green Beret and I was the opposite. We have EOD. I'm not EOD anymore. And now I'm a medic. So I'm definitely not supposed to be first. I'm definitely not supposed to be the guy looking for bombs, but it's like I couldn't help it. It was so ingrained in my brain to look for bombs, look for explosives, choose the most efficient route over, let's climb that wall and walk across this area rather than go through that doorway. But it was hard. I couldn't apply that because I had to focus on being a medic. I had to think about where my CCPs were, where everybody's IFAC was, where we most likely get hit. So I could kind of use some skills from EOD and intertwine it with being a medic too, but I had a hard time flipping that switch for sure.
Do you think they purposely didn't make you a Charlie because they wanted you to train in another facet? Yeah,
I had a conversation with one of my selection cadre. So it was right around day 19, day 20, you're kind of getting ready to know if you made it or not. But I had a, one-on-one with one of the cadre and he says, I see your ERB here. I see your EOD and I had 18 Charlie as my primary. And Delta was my secondary. And he sat me down. We had a long conversation and I kind of knew I made it at that point because he was saying you should switch this. He wouldn't have been telling me that if I wasn't going to make it. So he said, you were EOD and, by training, you're going to have more experience in explosives than the Charlie, no matter what. You're always going to have more knowledge on IEDs, homemade explosives, all of that. Charlies get more training in building and stuff like that. But their main job is accountability. Anytime you go on a deployment, it's the Charlie who runs the books for accountability. So it's kind of it's the nightmare job of a
so
team.
they're supply.
Yeah, literally. They're the supply clerks.
That sucks.
So he told me that. We had a good laugh. He's like, you're not going to be doing explosive stuff. You're going to be running books 95% of the time. You might help out doing some structure stuff if you do a deployment. And then, if you're ever out on missions, you're going to carry some charges and stuff and you might do some breaching, but the odds of you doing that are very, very, very slim. So he said, given your GT score, you have the experience in EOD, I would recommend applying that knowledge and discipline to become a medic. And I said, okay, I trust you. He was an E7, tabbed out, all the deployments. And I was just I trust this guy, anything he says. So signed up for medic there.
That's the pillar of the MOSs though.
It was a good job. It was very rewarding. And there's not a lot of, we got to maintain med pros and make sure everyone's up on shots and everything like that. So during the downtime, I would end up helping a lot of the other guys because I didn't have, I wasn't the supply guy. I wasn't the bookkeeper.
I couldn't imagine layouts.
Yeah, layout.
I couldn't imagine that.
So the Delta loadout had so much equipment. Dental pick A, dental pick B, dental pick C, dental pick D. And then it was we had these sets within sets within sets. And then part of that would be a dental set. And then each piece within that dental set was accountable because everything's $1 million. It's this is $1 million. So when it came time to do a change of command layout.
PII layouts must be a nightmare.
It was a fucking nightmare. And there was so much stuff I can't even explain. It would take days to lay it out days. And then the commander would come and we wouldn't know where some things were. And he would be like, okay, I'll come back when you have it. And I'm like, can you just check everything else? Like we got $8 million worth of shit laid out right here.
No.
Yeah. It was a ton of stuff. Stethoscope 1, 2, 3, and 4.
And that's just medical stuff.
Dude,
like I couldn't imagine the comms guy.
Oh yeah. Batteries, radios. And that's the stuff that's like classified and actually matters. So if, everything's accountable there. But yeah, I don't know. The second time you asked into Afghanistan, I mean, there wasn't a shot fired and there was no bombs or anything. We were there until April, early June. No, May, right around May. We kind of left slowly. So our team left like 2 people at a time. I was one of the first ones to leave, but our team was there right until the end of the pullout of Afghanistan. And it was it was an insane time to be there because we deployed there not really knowing if we were going to be doing missions. Like, okay, we're either going to be fighting to the teeth as we end this war, or we're just going to close the gates and pack everything up and fly out. So we prepared for the worst. Like, we're ready to go and do missions every single day. We had our loadout room was ready to go at any given time. Like, we were ready to do stuff. And then slowly we just started packing up and, sending stuff home, sending guys home. And it was such a weird time to be there. Everyone was panicking, all the little shops on base, the rug shops and all they were all freaking out.
They didn't have employment anymore.
They didn't have employment or safety because they've been hiding out on the American bases for years.
It was a nightmare to start getting people out. I remember especially the Terps was an absolute nightmare for them to get clearance to leave.
Yeah, a lot of them didn't make it. And a lot of guys were there trying to save them. Because
I still talk to my interpreter. I don't know if you still talk to yours.
No, I had one guy, his name was Hash, and he was trying to get his family to Texas, and I kind of lost contact. And it was scary to think about it. Like, being there in 2021, we were on a very small base, Camp Moorhead, in the middle of Kabul. I mean, there was only a couple hundred of us at the peak. And then as we started sending guys home, I mean, there was under 100 U.S. soldiers there and then some contractors. And then we were within a bigger A&A base, which were all corrupt. And then we were within Kabul.
That's how they had us comprised.
Yeah. But just think about, like, they had a, ceasefire at the time, but imagine that. I mean, we were just sitting there. I mean, we literally had sent all our ammo off. We had what was on our kit. We didn't have stockpiles of machine gun ammo. We didn't have stockpiles of 5.56 and 7.62 grenade.
You got a rifleman's kit.
We gave it all to the A&A. We gave it away. And we were just sitting ducks with what we had on our kit. And if something would have ever happened, like, if the Taliban would have realized, maybe they knew, but how vulnerable we were right at the close down of that war, at least on that base, they could have overran us in probably a couple hours because we would have fought until we were out of ammo, which would have taken 30 minutes.
7 mags and you're done.
And I mean, there was no air support. There was no planes coming. Like, we closed it. It was like the close down of a company, a business. We don't have anything. We're paying the last few employees to stick around, but we're not actually doing anything. And if something were to happen, like, we'd go bankrupt. Like, we had nothing. And it was so scary. So, like, that deployment, in a sense, was scarier than my EOD deployment where we were disarming IEDs because I thought every single day it was just going to be it.
Because you lost control. There was no control. You didn't have all that control that you had before.
Apparent, like, perceived control from the outside because we didn't seem weak enough.
You guys were alone and afraid.
Right. I mean, maybe Taliban knew, like, we were just about to leave and they were going to take over and they didn't want to restart.
And they did it quick.
Yeah. Because if they would have hit us while the U.S. was still there, it would have restarted the war, right? I don't know. Biden was in charge at the time. I don't know what would have actually happened, but it would have restarted the war. If there was another U.S. casualty while we were closing out, it would have. There was the Marines. So yeah, I don't know. And then we still pulled out. I hate thinking about this because it pisses me off. Like, how that
feels
all
like
went down.
it's just bloodshed, just wasted.
Yeah.
Why do it to just leave in that capacity?
Yeah. And we all saw the parades Taliban were having with our trucks and our guns.
We just gave them all our shit.
Yeah. I mean, they were driving.
Talking about it a minute ago, doing your PI inspection, and if you're missing one dental pick, but then they can run around. They were taking our blackbirds and flying them and crashing them.
We showed them how to fly.
The Blackhawks, yeah.
Because right as we were leaving, we were teaching them how to use everything. And we have no clue who was corrupt and who wasn't. And everyone knew that. But the, captains and majors and colonels wouldn't admit it. But all of us E7s, E6s that were on the ground with those guys, none of them were trustworthy because I was interfacing with them every single day. And none of, like, they they look different. I've been there enough times, like in 2015, being on base, you could see the good ones. You know, they're for the cause. It was like when they knew we were leaving, they didn't care. They looked at us like they wanted to just learn what they needed to learn. And then it was like they wanted to just fucking kill us. There was no sympathy. There was no real person in there. It was a Taliban wearing an A&A costume. And then as soon as we left, they took it off.
Took it over.
Yeah. And I'm sure there was some battling that went over, but I think for the most part, it was more of like the A&A just took their uniforms off and they were actually just Taliban. Like I know there was some overtaking that happened, but it was really more or less like, yeah, we had already taken over.
If it wasn't corrupt there, I'd live there. I loved it. I loved it there.
Yeah.
Loved the food.
The food was good.
Loved the food.
Had some questionable lamb in some villages, but
that was the best part, is going on a patrol and finding one of the village elders and like paying him off for one of his lambs, and like having the A&A dudes actually like, cause like they're like, oh my God, what movie was that? They reminded me of, not The Hobbit, having like 6 lunches. Like we would stop patrols because they needed to eat. So they would, because at that point in the war, we learned that they need to go first. Yeah. This isn't our fight anymore. Like let them be the bullet shields for a little bit and let them fucking take a couple rounds. So they would stop the convoy just to be like, okay, we're having lunch. Yeah. And they would feed us, and I loved it.
That was a cool part about my first deployment as EOD, is because we were EOD, we always went with, like you did KLEs, right? Key leader engagements. The infantry captain or lieutenant would go in and talk with a couple machine guns. EOD was always with them.
I didn't know that.
Because we would subtly walk in front of everybody and like be looking for stuff. And then we'd always be in the KLE, and we had to kind of act like we weren't special in a way. So we'd always be sitting in, but we were tuned in, like we were looking around. We were really like the security. So we got to eat on all those meals, all the melon, all the tea. I was just a PFC. I think I was an E4 maybe, but
I had a one time meet with the commandos, like they were SF, and they're all wearing sunglasses, so I didn't think anything of it. And then they invite me to eat, and it's very rude to say no. So like you have to eat. So like my pug ass was like, "You guys got a fork?" And they're like, "No, dude." Like they were all laughing at me. So I was like, "Fuck it, I guess I'm gonna eat with my hands." So like I break bread with them, and then they took off their sunglasses after we were done eating. Every single one of them had pink eye, and in that country, that will kill you. Yeah. That's like it's not like the United States where like you get pink eye, you get some eye drops, you're straight, or like amoxicillin. Like that will cripple a village like pink eye. So I was like, man.
Yeah, just to paint the picture, I mean, they have these huge plates of like raisin rice. You remember that?
So
it's like
good.
It's fucking delicious. Good. And they would just pass this huge plate around, grab the bottom of the plate, grab the rice,
put it in their naan,
put it on their plate, and then just pass it. And these people wipe their ass like
with their hands.
Yeah. And they're just holding the plate with their ass wipe in hand, and then grabbing the rice and put it on their plate and then passing it, and then they're eating with their hands.
That's that institutional stuff that the Army teaches you, probably all branches, is where you have to just conform.
Right.
Like, socially this isn't the norm, this isn't okay, but if I don't act appropriately, I could cause a conflict. Like if I chose not to eat when they offered it to me and they pulled a pillow for me to sit down on the ground, that could have been a really like a gray point for their perception of us. Yeah, because it's very like political.
Yeah, America doesn't have stuff like that. Like if you went to go shake someone's hand in a job interview and instead you just flicked them off, like that might be comparable.
Where if you don't take your gloves off when you're shaking an elder's hand, like you're wrong. Like there's a lot of, and it's cool that they gave us the training prior to, they probably did the same for you, where you get cultural training. You actually learn about their culture. Like you don't show the bottoms of your feet around them. Right. You don't use your left hand for anything. It's because that's what they use to defecate, like, and to clean themselves. It is very interesting to like know that by doing that, you could just goes back to that grenade story. I could be a trigger for an event if I piss somebody off. Like there is a passage of lines where you can't cross by knowing like what you're supposed to do. It's interesting.
Yeah. So big takeaways from the military. You're retired now. I'm retired. We're doing other stuff. How are we implementing things that we learned from the military into real life now? What did we learn?
That's a great question.
Yeah, I haven't thought about it. Let's think about it.
Let's ponder this.
Yeah. One, I have many, but one which goes right off of what you just said is, we as individuals, as Americans, like we have a very specific culture, and we're not the only ones in the world. There's other places that exist that think our culture are ridiculous. There's other places in the world that we think are ridiculous. But unless you travel and you see those places, you don't really have respect for it. And I think in traveling the world, Afghanistan, Ukraine, Poland, Moldova, like I've been all over the place. I learned to respect the differences in other people, both like in interactions here in America and Colorado. Like I meet someone who's a little different. I respect it. I didn't have that before the military. I thought different was weird. Different was stupid. Different was not okay. Very self-centered way of viewing the world. But you only get that through experience. And so being in Afghanistan, being in Ukraine, seeing all these things, hearing different languages, seeing different clothing, eating different food, I learned to respect the differences in people.
Yeah, I think that's pretty spot on. We were talking about it last night with your mom. I think something that's very interesting is that the military teaches you that, like, it goes back to like doing my college. Like, it's interesting. Like, I never had aspirations to do college before until I joined the military, and I did a few years, and then I was like, it pivoted me to like want to be more of a studious person. Like, I'm living this experience through just exhaustion all the time, just physically getting beaten down, and then I want to start using my brain. It's very interesting how like we talked about our high school. We both were like barely getting by in high school. Like I think they only graduated me because they know I already joined the military, so they were like, this dummy needs to go. We got to get rid of him. But it's interesting how like you can change that into a 4.0, like just like you're doing, getting hundreds on everything because you gain discipline, and it's different now. Like you learned, like, okay, I know this is good for me because I've been in the military for so long, and I've seen all these civilians that I've worked with and like how they're making all this money working a tenth of what I'm supposed to be doing. I think that as seeing that now is a reminder of like, okay, that's why I always told the applicants that I work with, like, you have to do college while you're in. Like, I don't care if you don't think you have time. Knock a class out a year. You can get an associate's degree. You can get a degree. Like, why wouldn't you? The cultural stuff is a huge thing. I think before, the same thing, just like I would see people that were different, and I wouldn't know how to emulate with them because I would alienate them because it was weird to me. And then I learned that I like that now that's exciting for me. I want to learn about your culture. I want to have me over for dinner. Let's eat let's break some bread. Let's see what you got going on.
Yeah, we can recognize that we grew up in a very sheltered upper middle class
You
American
didn't see
suburb.
a lot of diversity.
No.
There wasn't a lot of interesting characters or just people of different ethnic backgrounds where we grew up.
Here, I have a word for this. I learned from my anthropology class. We were very ethnocentric. We thought our ethnicity was superior to others.
Shit, that's not good.
I mean, that's kind of the American way. And then you start traveling and you're like, man, we're just a small piece of this huge pie that we call the world. But yeah, my ethnocentrism dissolved in the military for sure.
Yeah, it has to, or else you become biased, and it's just like you learn that like just because Afghanistan is a dangerous place doesn't mean that everybody's dangerous.
Right.
I met some great people out there, some really good village elders that were super cool. That I was like, damn, I'm sorry you're in this position like this. But that's just the way the country has been. It's just the way the country is going to continue to be. They're just that. It is what it is. You're on holy land. The people want to take that land from you. They want to push their ideology on you, and that's tough. Move somewhere else. But man, beautiful country.
Yeah, it is beautiful. Especially, I mean, I didn't go up northeast, but I think you did, right? Where the deep pines and mountains.
I was in the snow.
That's crazy.
I didn't know it snowed in Afghanistan.
Yeah,
it does.
Up there.
It gets cold as shit.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, I didn't get to go up there. I was mostly Kandahar, Bagram, and then Kabul was about the most north that I went.
Yeah, it gets cold.
Yeah.
We're right next to, I think it's Tajikistan or however you pronounce it. I'm not good with the geography.
It's like really dangerous area.
Up there.
What's that path like? Because Afghanistan borders China. I mean, I don't know all the history of this, but that little path, I think that's where the Korengal Valley is. And that's where China was trafficking all the ordnance to Taliban. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but all the ordnance that Taliban was using against us, Chinese, Russian, all brand new. Because we would find it as EOD. We'd find huge caches of brand new Chinese ordnance and Russian ordnance. It's like, who's actually fighting this war? It's like you got, these Afghani pieces on a board, but they're using Chinese and Russian ordnance against Americans.
That's crazy.
There's some layers to that war. We don't get
well, just
into
like
it.
the Taliban that are from Pakistan fight in Afghanistan, and vice versa. They don't fight in their own countries.
Yeah.
Like they go to the other country to fight. They don't mess with their own. It's crazy. Like it's wild.
Yeah.
It's cool to learn about, but now I'm glad that I don't have to go back.
Yeah, that's for sure. Now I'm like a peacenik. I'm like, why can't we just all get along?
It's different how your mentality, I don't know, like I'm sure you're the same. There was a point in my career where I realized like A, I'm not doing what I wanted to do anymore. I've already done it. And then B, I've lost the love. That love is gone. It's like everything I do is torture. I'm not happy anymore. Why am I going to continue to do something that I'm not happy about? Like it's sad because that was our upbringing. Like that manifested who I am. Like if you talk nature versus nurture, I'm who I am because of nurture, and it's because of the army. It made me who I am. Yeah. And I'll take the good and bad.
Yeah, the essence of our childhood was skateboarding, talking about what job we were going to have in the military. Remember? I mean, we had it figured out because I was going to join the Marines, and you were like,
it was just so fast.
Yeah.
Because it went from like just two kids doing dumb shit to joining, and then it was just like your progression for the military was a little longer because my parents were like, "Give me that fucking paper. I'm signing that shit right yesterday."
Yeah, they both had to sign it.
Oh, they signed it with pleasure.
Really? That's funny.
They were not. There was no dragging the feet. They're like, "Get him out of here."
Yeah.
Not that I was a bad kid, but it is what it is. I'm glad I did it. It's been a tough 16 years. I don't regret any of it. I just sometimes wish that once I saw that I got higher in rank and that didn't matter, I was like, I'm out of this.
Yeah.
If I can't invoke fucking change, why do I want to be part of an organization? That just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I think you hit a point where you either like you cross that threshold into being the delusional high-ranking individual. You know, they're not delusional, but it's like the lower ranks see the higher ranks as like they don't know what's going on. They don't know what the lower ranks need. And I felt that. I had made E7. I went from being a medic on a team to a staff NCOIC, non-commissioned officer in charge of a clinic. And I fucking hated my life. Like for 12 years at that point, I was EOD running around with a freaking bag full of explosives and an M4 to SF running around with an aid bag and an M4, jumping out of planes, doing shit. And all of a sudden I'm wearing like crispy new, camo uniform because you have to. I was sitting at a desk. I had a door. I could like close a door, and I had an L-shaped desk. And my job was to check emails and respond to emails and make sure people were up on certifications. And it was cool for like 2 weeks. Like it was cool to set up an office. I was like, man, I'm at E7. I made it, dude. And then I realized I didn't want this.
Well, the cog keeps turning, and then you're realizing that you're not fulfilling anything.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything. I'm answering questions for other people. And if I don't give the answer that they want, they yell at me. I'm a puppet. That's it. I represent all the medics in 3rd Battalion, 10th Special Forces Group. But if I don't give the right answer, you're being shaped into what they want you to be. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
It's interesting because I have other friend that's SF, and he was a medic too, and it's very apropos that you guys both are giving me. It's just nice. It sucks to say it's nice, but as a regular grunt to see that you guys deal with the same kind of bullshit was refreshing. Where it's like, okay, that's a very high pillar, but they still have their bureaucracy as much as we do.
It's the same thing. Just everyone's 2 or 3 ranks higher. You don't have E4s and E3s. You have E7s and E6s, and then you have E8s in charge. Like it's all the same. It's all the same. It's all the same stuff. Just everyone's more professional, well-spoken, and we have better equipment. It's all the same bullshit, same bureaucracy. But I just had another one. What were another lesson learned from the military? I think future work will always be easy because the military was so difficult. Like you're saying, it kind of motivated you to be more studious. I just finished I'm like at the end of my sophomore year in college now, and college has seemed so easy because all you have to do is read, write, study, and take tests. Like there's no inherent risk. I'm used to having to study to save a life, or study to avoid getting blown up, or study so that I know how to use my parachute so that I don't die if I have a malfunction. Like I was always studying for very high risk things. In college, I just study for a test. And if I don't get a good grade, I will still get my degree. Like it's a risk-free environment. You go to, you're about to be in the job force, get into HR and do some recruiting for companies. Like what's the worst thing that can happen?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
They
crazy.
fire you?
Even interviews, like I thought I'd be nervous for interviews. I'm walking in there like I don't give a shit.
You've been to promotion boards. Nothing will ever beat that.
Like I sit there, I'm calm, cool, collected. Like I'm crushing these interviews because the military has given me the skills to be composed under pressure.
Right.
So it's like nothing you say is going to give me an inherent risk.
Right.
You're just not going to offer me the job. Like who gives a shit? And I realize also with Army recruiting that the more relaxed you are during interviews, the more confident you seem. Mm-hmm. So like if I can give this sense of confidence, then like I can answer a couple of screwy questions like a goofball, and I'll still get the job. Like it'll work out. Or if it's not, it won't work out. Right. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, because you're not frozen. Like I feel like I hate saying most people, but like people go into job interviews and if they're not experienced, they don't have life experience, they're frozen. Mm-hmm. They're scared to say anything wrong, and so they sit there like, oh yeah, I'll say anything that you want me to say just to get this job. And like a veteran, been to promotion boards, been to combat. I'm myself. If you don't like it, I don't have to work here. It's not a good fit. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a blessing.
Yeah, it's just like that. I was telling you, I got a pretty much a job offer for a job, and I was like, fuck this. I don't want to work here. Like the old me prior to the military, I would have jumped on any job that was above a grocery store. Mm-hmm. And now it's given me that like, okay, I have worth. I know what my worth is. Just because someone's throwing an offer at me doesn't mean I have to take it. Don't take that first offer. And that's different than like when I first joined, where it was like I felt like I got bullied into joining from the MEPs because they were like, pick a job. Mm-hmm. So like I've learned that like I have choice. Mm-hmm. I don't have to like if I already feel like my intuitions tell me that something's not going to be the move for me, then I'm just not going to let it be the move for me.
Yeah, something will happen. What are some other? I mean, obviously work ethic, discipline. Networking is something I learned how to do in the military for sure. Huge networking.
Huge.
Like I said earlier, I found value in the differences in people. Like I see the value in having a lot of connections because you never know who's going to lead to what or who knows who, which could benefit you. And it's like, I might only meet this guy, but he knows this guy who's looking for a person like me. So networking, without getting too much into like the job of a Green Beret, but like that's the job is to go into a country and start networking and build a network of resources that you can use. And so, it's the same thing. I'm in UCCS right now and I'm meeting as many professors as I can in all departments, communication department, psychology department, engineering department. I never know who I'm going to need for something and they might need me for something. It's always this, it's not transactional. It's how can we help each other? That was definitely something I learned in the military.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's interesting that like the civilian job market, I thought I was gonna be so scared to jump into it, and then it gave me so much like doing the Army for so long, having the same job, and then really just like learning about myself. Like it's not scary. Like just find a job.
Yeah.
Just like it gives you so many tools to be excel at it. I just don't understand how people get out and they have issues. Like it's just you had issues when you were in then. Like that void didn't get filled, or you didn't have a life lesson where you learned that like the Army is supposed to be a stepping stone. Like it's a career, but it's a stepping stone. It's supposed to give you life experience that you can bring into like the civilian. Like if you're not transactionally giving it to another organization, you've done nothing. Like the only negative I can say about the civilian job market and being military is rigidness. Yeah. That's something that they kind of look away from, is that they assume we're going to be rigid people. Like I got asked the question during my interview, what is my biggest flaw? And I told them it was patience. That's my biggest flaw. I want things done now. I don't want to wait. Like I'm going to do, if I work for your company, I'm going to get everything because the military taught me like there's no waiting. You need to do this now, and then we'll tell you when to wait. You can hurry up and wait on our time. Yeah. But if there's a task that needs to be done, and I think that sense of urgency has skewed me a little bit with like, I have no patience.
Yeah. You know how many times I've put a parachute on and then sat for 8 hours waiting for the rain to stop and then not jumping and then took my parachute off? I don't want to wait anymore. I'm just going to get shit done. How about that? Like, if that doesn't work.
Backwards planning sucked.
Yeah.
We're the weather guy.
Man, I just hinted at some horrible days at being airborne.
The shoot shack.
Dude, you put your parachute on, you get JMPI'd, you're inspected, you can't move. There's a delay.
You could take your helmet off and put it behind your back.
Yeah, and then if you had to pee, you could like go undo a strap and like pee, and then someone had to check your whole shit again. And I've waited for 5-6 hours before because it was raining or the ceiling was low or something like that. And you're just sitting there uncomfortable, waiting.
Yeah, that's why I like in-flight rig. You ever done one of those?
No.
It's exactly what it sounds like.
Sounds sketchy.
In the bird, you rig.
Yeah.
So like they take off as soon as they hit like a good level, you rig up.
Oh, nice.
And then you just circle and then they jump you.
Yeah. Dude, I was always so paranoid about my rig. Even at like free fall school, like dude, right before I would jump out of the back, I would check my straps right here. Because if these things came undone, you're just gonna fall right through. Well, I was so paranoid about these straps right here.
Check your left and right leg straps.
Yeah, and I'm just touching them the whole time. It's like, okay, I'm about to jump out. They're good. Okay, I'm out. I was fucking paranoid.
I didn't give a shit. That's scary to say. I was just like, whatever, man.
Well, we talked about lessons learned. Let's talk about the harder topics, the price of service. What do you got?
I think it takes a pieces of you. I would definitely say it doesn't have to be the Rick or the main like infantry SF dude going through combat experiences to just get tripped for mental health problems. I think the Army, in its nutshell, wants so much from a human being that sometimes it's not tangible to give that much, and then there's repercussions behind it, and I think that takes pieces away from you because you're trying to live by this standard that keeps changing. There's no metric. There's a standard, and then it moves, it fluctuates. You can get close to it, and then it moves again. And I felt like my whole career I was chasing to be the best, and then as soon as you get close to it, that bar moved. And mentally that messes you up because like you're putting yourself in these positions to where you think you're going to thrive, and you're not. It's crazy.
Yeah. I have two that came to mind. I'll start with probably the harder one, but it's definitely losing people. I have a completely different perspective on death, and I never talked about why I joined the military. You remember Sam Esposito? So him and I were going to join together. Like his parents
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we were supposed to, because we were kind of rebellious. Also, I'd hang out with him and Matt and Chris and all those people, go out, smoke weed, and he wanted to join the military, and that was kind of my influence. Like he wanted to join the military, I was going to join the military. I think this is like sophomore year of high school, and then, fast forward 2 years or so, he ends up committing suicide, and we were going to join together. And so I felt like I had this obligation almost, like me and my buddy were going to join the military together. He's no longer here, and I'm going to do this. I'm still going to do this. I have his initials on my back. And like in a way, I don't know, I'm a spiritual person. I don't know how deep I am, but having his initials on my back, like I had a very, very fortunate military career. I had 2 very risky jobs. I mean, free fall school, I had people have malfunctions all around me, like all the time. Guy behind me malfunction. Like they didn't die, but like serious shit was happening. Afghanistan, it was like other missions I wasn't on, crazy shit would happen. Or the deployment before and after was like 10 times crazier than my deployment. Or, buddies that I was next to in selection, they went to first group, I went to 10th group, they died. Like I feel like I always had this bubble around me, which is weird to say because I made it out okay.
You had luck.
I made it out very unscathed.
You had luck on your side.
And I feel like he had something to do with it. So being in the military, I mean, guys our age, like I remember being probably 21 and beginning to learn that guys I'd went to school with died. Like they were not much older than me. We went to EOD school together, but they went to so-and-so group and then went on this deployment, got shot, got blown up. And then we'd go to the memorial service at Eglin that year. And I'm like, I went to school with that guy. He was 24, his wife, kids, it's just different. It's different being at an 85-year-old's funeral as it is a 24-year-old's funeral. It's a completely different environment. It's like every death hurts, grandparents die, parents die, and that hurts. But when they're that age, it's expected and you respect it and you understand the wisdom that they committed to everyone in their life and the lessons you can learn from their life, their long life. But when someone dies at 20, 24, 30, like it's not right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I have many examples, and I still think about it. I still think about it all the time. Like those people 10 years ago died. I didn't. And I'm here now 10 years into my life complaining about mundane shit in my life. And I'm just like, I need to appreciate it that I'm still here. So I think death is something that I definitely got very close to, especially, I mean, I could go all into being a medic and how many people died in my care and how many people I watched die. Even like I didn't know them, but it's just insane. It's insane to think about how quick you could die. Especially especially being a medic. Like we're like speaking like, you know, from a scientist point of view, like we're just a container holding blood. If that container starts leaking, you will die so fast. And people don't understand how fast that could actually happen. If you had something cut your femoral artery, you're dead in probably 30 to 40 seconds. And we're just sitting here thinking we're going to live for the next 50, 60 years.
Very delicate.
You could die like that. Like you could get in a car accident and a piece of mirror slices that artery and you're an untrained individual and you just sit there like, oh my God, I'm bleeding. Oh my God, I'm lightheaded. Oh my God, I'm cold. I'm dead. Like 30 seconds, that fast. So I have a completely different understanding of death. And I was never really exposed to it except for Sam's funeral, being like very young. But even then I was kind of like,
that was a shock.
Disassociated.
That's still a shock.
I didn't understand. I mean, it was a closed casket because he shot himself in the head.
Yeah.
But yeah, death. That's one of the harder takeaways from the military. Like I have a new perspective on it and it's a useful perspective, but I don't think being early 20s, you should have to deal with that. It's tough. Not at that scale, not at that volume.
And we got a taste of it. Like imagine like the dudes back in the day, like Vietnam era.
Right. Where it's like you deploy with a platoon of like 30.
Come back with 5.
Come back
Something
with 5.
stupid.
I don't even understand. Tougher. We're getting weaker for sure.
I think I keep hearing that. And I feel like we talked about it. There is a level of weakness, but I think there's also a level of the military for a while was trying to come down to the level of the people, which they shouldn't do. They should maintain a standard, and that standard should be left where, look at the Marine Corps. They haven't changed their PT test or their uniforms since years. They have, like, even a lot of people don't know this. I just found this out because a friend of mine was in the Marines. They have to wear undershirts in civilians. They have to wear belts when they're in civilians. They can't wear flip-flops unless you're at the beach. If you go to the PX or indoors in civilians as a Marine, you cannot wear a hat. They have a regulation for civilian wear. It's all about discipline for them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We don't have the Army. Like, I feel like that's something that I probably would have hated, but it would have been something good to have, is stronger disciplines at certain types of times. Like when we first joined, there was enough.
Yeah.
It was not fucking playtime. Like I remember being terrified of basic training because like everybody there was a war fighter. You go to basic training now, the majority of people there have never deployed.
Right.
They're just dudes that have been in for 4 or 5 years and they made E5 and they decided to put a drill packet in. They have no life experience of with the Army.
Imagine that. Like the guys, our drill sergeants were like
killers.
You know, invasions of Iraq and Afghanistan.
Like scary fucking dudes. And I might be putting them on a pedestal. I don't really remember them too much, but they were around during the shit. Like,
I mean, deployment patches, CIBs. Like
I remember, like my platoon sergeants when I was younger were scary fucking people. Like they were inherent in their own terrifying. Now it's like very approachable. It's like there's a time and a place. We're not in a current war right now to where like we need to have that. But then like when do you turn the switch on?
Yeah.
And when is it too late to turn that switch on?
Yeah, some people argue we'll never have ground wars like we fought in. It's possible.
Is that crazy?
I mean, we got technology like we don't even know what's out there.
Every time there's a new war, there's a new type of like, I remember talking to like the Vietnam dudes when I came back from Afghanistan and they would shake my hand and be like, I don't know how you dealt with those IEDs.
Right, yeah.
Like, I don't know how you dealt with punchy sticks. That's just fucking terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, I interviewed a guy on here. He was a tunnel rat in Vietnam. So he was small. So he would go into the Viet Cong tunnels and look for booby traps and stuff like that.
That's terrifying.
He talks about it like he was like on drugs. He's like, we would be walking through the woods. And at one moment we'd be getting shot at from over there. And so we would turn and fight and just drive. You know, what do you do in an ambush? You turn towards the ambush and you drive through the ambush. Like if you can, if you're not outnumbered. And they said they would just drive and then there'd be no one there. and then they'd get shot at from behind them, and then they would do the same thing. They would turn around and start driving that way, and then there'd be no one there because they would pop into the tunnels. And he was like, it was like we were fighting ghosts. And I could see in his eyes how paranoid they would be. Can you imagine that?
No.
You're just in thick jungle while it's raining, and all of a sudden you're getting shot at from over there. So you start shooting back, and then it's quiet. And then you're getting shot at from behind you. Can't see anything. And it's just like they had the advantage so much. I mean, I can't even fathom being in that environment.
It's crazy because the way that they articulate the differences, like they also brought up a point of like we didn't have an enemy that wore a conventional uniform. Anybody could have been the enemy. It's very easy to tell who the Viet Cong were because they had a uniform that they were wearing for the most part. So it's very interesting to see like their perspective of our war versus our perspective of their war and the differences of what was perceived as scary.
Yeah.
Like they'll talk about that like that's nothing, and then they'll give us kudos for like dealing with VBIDs, IEDs, fucking dudes in non-uniforms. Like everybody walks around with weapons, but then you see like, dude, you could have walked on a punji stick full of poop. That's just scary.
Yeah. Point wasn't to kill you; it was to infect you and kill you slowly.
That's scary.
Can you think of any other tough takeaways from the military?
Give me another example. Draw my memory.
Yeah, the second one. So the first one was, new perception of death. The second one is definitely, what word do I want to use here? I want to use the word anxiety, but like for 13 years in the military, it was just very scary shit. Like I was learning to disarm bombs, and then I was deploying disarming bombs. And in the middle of all that, I was doing work with the Secret Service, and my job was to walk into buildings first in case there was a bomb. It was my job to make those things go off or find them and disarm them. I'm still here, so it like worked out, but I was just very tuned up, I feel like, for over a decade. Then I switched to Special Forces, which is 3 years of training. So it's like, I got to get through this training. I got to get through SUT, and then I graduate SUT, and I go home for a couple of days, and I'm like, none of this matters. I need to go back to SEER school now. And I get back from SEER school, and I'm like, none of this matters. I need to go to Robin Sage. Go to Robin Sage, get home. This doesn't matter. I need to go to free fall. And like, I was just so stuck on the next thing. I was always at risk of failing. I was always at risk of getting hurt. That was just bar none for like 13 years. Became a medic. Now I'm dealing with people's injuries on a daily basis. People are coming to the clinic. Hey, I sprained my ankle, did this, did that. Deployments, they're bringing us, they're wounded. I'm treating wounded. Like for 13 years, it was just high octane light, like daily life. There was no calm. And I think like if I really dig deep, I think I have a hard time being calm. I have a hard time sitting in nothing, and I'm very easily triggered into having like an anxiety outburst. And it's usually just anger, because that's what we were taught. Like if you're scared in war, what do? You fight. You don't show them you're scared. And so that's just what's been ingrained in all of us soldiers' brains. So like if something might spook me or scare me, or I'm nervous about something, I just get angry, but I'm really just anxious and scared. So I have this like very useless mask that I put on out here in the civilian world, where I just get angry instead of say I'm scared or anxious. And I think that's all driven by just being in a very high octane environment for over a decade, and then getting out. And now all of a sudden, like, I'm still very anxious. I'm still like anticipating that next thing. I'm anticipating having to go jump out of planes. I'm anticipating being told I'm going to Ukraine in 9 days. I'm anticipating failing a school or something. Like I was just, what's the word? Like I was in overdrive.
Yeah, I think mine, if I had to reduce it to an answer, it would be pretty apropos to what you're saying. I think mine is like, I never relaxed. I don't know how to fucking relax. My psychiatrist, or not even my psychiatrist, my spiritual advisor told me when she was reading my card, she's like, you've never relaxed. She's like, you need to take these 2 months before, like you won't work. And that was another reason why I turned down that job, is because she told me you cannot work for 2 months. You need to relax. We're so used to doing shit. I feel like I have deadlines still.
Right.
I still think the Army's going to call me back to do some shit. And I'm fucking a high alert right now, because that's all I know is being shitted on. Yeah. For not that it was a bad career, but getting shitted on. That's It is what it is. Like that's, you sign up with the preconception that you're going to be used as much as you can. And then they are going to get rid of you. And it is what it is, but try to retain some of that. But I need to start learning how to relax. I'm so pent up all the time. I'm just waiting for something bad to happen. Like all the time.
Yeah.
Like I'm just waiting for like some bullshit to happen just to get mad. Sometimes it's like I want to get mad. It's crazy.
Yeah, weird.
I'll be talking to my wife and I'll just get angry and I'm like, there's no reason to be mad right now.
It's just ingrained, man. Like there was so many things to be angry at in the military. There was reasons to fight. There was reasons to battle. Like when all that goes away, it's like that was my purpose. As twisted as that sounds, my purpose was to battle.
Yeah. I also wanted to get out because I didn't want my kids to grow up in that environment. Military kids are kind of weird.
Yeah, you're a father. We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, military kids are kind of weird. And I also started seeing that, like, I was brought up in the military that, like, if you fuck up, you get yelled at.
Right.
And that's a trait that I'm trying to get rid of. And sometimes, like, it's not that I yell at my kids, but sometimes I'll notice, like, whoa, I feel like I could lose control right now. And there's no reason for that. Like it's something that I'm going to have to work through on my own to really stabilize that. Like sometimes like I don't know if you get the same way, like you just feel like you lose control because things aren't going to plan and you feel like you ruined it and like it's all messed up and like there's going to be a follow-on mission to it and I got to figure out how am I going to make that work if I'm already failing this one mission. And it's like everything hits you at once and it's like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it takes time to settle in. Like I'm out a little over 2 years at this point. I still feel kind of, I mean, it was definitely different. When I first got out, it was more depression and anxiety. Like I didn't know what I was going to do. I wasn't in college yet. I was doing this show, but I mean, I wasn't really doing much of anything. And I think that I mean, this is like just so cliche, but like not having a purpose. I don't even believe in that. I don't think you need a purpose to be happy, but it was like the military was filling that void for me and I didn't have anything else to fill that void. And it wasn't until I started doing more deep reflection and realizing I don't need something to fill that void. I am complete. I don't know. It took a while.
I realized during this interview that the void that we keep talking about is just utter control. Just utter control. Like the void that I wanted to get fixed was I wanted some sort of like a institution to be in that had full control that made life easy.
Did you have a childhood where you felt out of control?
Not me, but I'm watching Leo sometimes. I get a little crazy.
I mean, I think we all, like as children, feel a little bit out of control, but maybe it's like worse. It
was nice for a while to be in an organization that was very cookie cutter, very concise. Like you understood what was going to happen to an extent. But then there's a point to where you're like, I don't want this shit anymore. This is dumb.
Right. Yeah.
Like you start mopping. You're like, man, what the fuck am I doing, dude? I'm in my 30s mopping. Shit. I'm an E7 and I'm still treated like a Joe. That's crazy. Why do I even want to be an E8? Because I'm watching how my first sergeant's getting treated by sergeant major, and that doesn't look like any fun either.
It's shit all the way up.
All the way up. There's no like, hey, you made it.
Yeah, and then it's like once you cross that line, like E8, captain to major. Like at that point, the shit stops, but they're just pursuing the next rank. Like it all just becomes an ego pursuit at that point. That's my belief.
Like the E8s, like I don't know, man. Like it just never, when you're a Joe and you see it, you're like, man, I cannot wait to be an E5. And you make E5 and you're like, I just have more bullshit I got to deal with.
I have more responsibility and it's never going to be good enough.
But I'm still treated like a piece of shit.
Right.
And then you make E6 and then you're like, all right, I got a little more responsibility, but now this E7 is treating me like a piece of shit. And you make E7 and it's like, first sergeant's talking to me like I'm a dummy.
Right.
It's like, God damn it.
Yeah, we had some good E8s in SF, though, I have to say, because E8s are in charge of the team, but they're not like first sergeants. They're really just like, they seem like very senior E7s. And I mean, Bryson, he's been on the show a long time ago. It's not on the YouTube channel, but he came on and awesome guy. I still talk to him on a regular basis, but there's some good E8s out there, but there's a lot of bad ones too.
Yeah, the ones that just care about the NCOR, and it's just like, God damn it, dude! Like I'm a person.
Yeah, because as you rank up, it's a funnel, right? Like privates, specialists, E5s, E6s, E7s, E8s, E9s. There's less and less as you go up, so it becomes more competitive. So you have to kind of stop doing what you know is right and do what you know is going to get you promoted. It's just a natural progress of making rank. There's less of you. There's more competition. You have to do dumber stuff.
Though. I hate that it can reduce to that. I always told people that the best leaderships are the worst.
Yeah.
that piece of shit leader has taught you more about leadership than any great leader will ever teach you. To be treated like absolute dog shit teaches you like this isn't the move.
Right.
That's not how I want to treat other people.
Yeah.
And I've had good leadership and I've had a lot of terrible leadership, and I've learned more from the shitty people, which is interesting to think about, like how much like they can really foster like a good leader out of you just because they were so shitty.
Yeah. You learn how not to do things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get to live vicariously through them and how not to be a piece of shit. Like, God damn.
So here's the ultimate question. 16 years in the military, 13 years in the military. Would we do it again?
Yeah, I would do it again. I needed to do this. My life has been set up very nicely for me. If I didn't join the military, I wouldn't have my kids. I wouldn't have my wife. Everything has played out in a way that I had to deal with the bullshit. I'm getting a pension now for the rest of my life. A lot of jobs, like we talked about, don't have that.
Doesn't exist anymore.
You have nothing. You just, thanks for your time. Sorry we broke you. That's tough. I could gripe all day, but the military has taken care of me very well for 16 years.
Right.
I've never worried about where I was going to eat. I never had any worries about where I'm going to sleep at night, other than when we're in the field. But I've been very fortunate that I'm sure it's likewise for you. It's been a very rewarding career. Yeah. It's just, I lost the love for it, and that's okay.
In the civilian sector, that's what you do when you lose passion with a job, right? Like, it's not personal. I feel like I've hit my capacity. I've gotten out of it what I needed. I've given what I've needed. It was kind of a win-win for everybody. I'm going to let the next guy come up. I think that's kind of both of our views and how we got out.
It sucks because I have a lot of knowledge for the jobs and I felt like I tried my best to pass that on, but there's a part of me that's always going to be like, I should have stayed in longer. I don't know if you feel like that too sometimes, where like, I'm like, okay, like, could I have done another couple of years? Probably. But like mentally, what if those next couple of years derailed me somehow? It was my time. You died? Yeah, it's my time to get out. Yeah, like there was a window, the opportunity opened. I took the opportunity, and I haven't felt regret yet.
Yeah, I think rucking took a toll on me. I've probably walked 100,000 miles with a ruck on. And
we got vehicles, baby.
Yeah, my hips and knees. I mean, every day when I wake up, I'm just stiff. Low back, hips, knees. It's just like every day I got to warm them up because there's just been so many fucking days that I've woken up at 3 a.m., weighed my ruck at 55 pounds, added some water and food, and gone for a 12-mile ruck, 18-mile ruck, 24-mile ruck. And it's just like, it hurt. Like, it didn't hurt as much at the time, but I'd always be sore afterwards. And now that I've slowed down, like I still run, I still work out, nothing crazy. But it's like now that I've slowed down, I'm doing less, I'm feeling all of that. So I don't know. It is
interesting how it kind of catches up to you later on.
Yeah. But I would do it again. I would definitely do it again. Like we talked about all the positives from it, right? Like we wouldn't be who we are today if we wouldn't have done it. So I think the person who I am today and the direction that I'm going, the discipline that I have, the work ethic that I have, especially today in a world where I feel like work ethic is just far and few between. Like I will never stop working hard. I will never stop pursuing the next thing because I'm addicted to it. It was trained into me to pursue the next goal. So when I graduate college, whether I go on to graduate school or I go into a job, like I will always be pursuing the next thing. Yeah. I will never stop working.
It gives you that ability to understand that there is another level. I need to chase that next level.
You can level up in anything, even if it's just being a dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
not be deadbeat.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is a good conversation. You know, I've interviewed a lot of people in here, physicians, scientists, but I didn't have a personal relationship with, most people. I do by the end, but like we've known each other for 20 years.
It's interesting how we keep coming back into each other's lives at pivotal moments. It is very interesting. Like I said, like I joined, and then you joined, and then I met up with you when I rejoined to go to infantry. And then I'm surprised we didn't see each other in Afghanistan at some point, which is wild.
Yeah. Yeah, it is wild. Well, I'm trying to think. We met at 8 years old and we're 33. So what is that? 25 years? No, I don't know.
Not good with math.
Yeah. It's over 2 decades.
It's over 10 years.
Yeah, that's good. But Yeah, it's been an honor knowing you.
Yeah, likewise.
We're gonna stay in touch.
Yeah.
I call you my best friend.
Appreciate that.
Love you, and I wish the best for you and your family.
Likewise. Yeah.
We're gonna
You'll have to come to me next time.
Yeah. We're gonna go grill some wings and recover from our skateboarding endeavors this morning.
Yeah, skin myself. Cooked.
Yeah. Colorado Springs Memorial Skate Park. That place is no joke.
It was fun.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you, buddy.